time for some Bring It On. You ready?
All right, well, I'll let you know if you get.
Let's hope he is. Okay, this is Mr. W, who says, do you think the United States will ever start to pay down its debt? If not, other nations won't want to lend to America. Then we're headed to a bottomless financial pit.
Let me tell you, it's very perceptive. I've written about it and thought about it, and anybody with any smarts realizes this is what's going to happen. There's no way that this government is going to pay off this enormous amount of money. One way the government pays down its debt is to start inflating, and all of a sudden the debt grows smaller because you've inflated your currency. We hope that doesn't happen. The other way is you default, and that's what Argentina has done, and then they don't get any credit. Nobody loans them any money. The United States has been in a privileged position which we have abused. It's just awful. We are the reserve currency of the world. That means we can print all the money we want to because we are the reserve currency. But sooner or later, people will say, we've had enough of this worthless paper and we don't want it anymore. It's going to happen unless we shape up, all right?
Okay, this is Beverly, who says, I've started receiving my Social Security benefits, so I would like to know, am I supposed to tithe on this money?
Beverly, in the Christian, there's no supposed to or not supposed to. It's free will. It's you love God and you give out of the love of your heart. But I believe that if I were you, I would give a tithe of the Social Security. That's your income. And it's coming to you. So watch what God will do with the other 90% if you give 10%. Watch him stretch that. You know, honor the Lord with your tithes and offerings and see what happens. Okay?
This is a viewer who says, I've been praying for a friend's wife that had cancer. She passed away. Why are my prayers not being heard? Am I not worthy? Am I doing something wrong? Should I keep praying if I'm not being heard?
Well, you don't know you weren't heard. God hears everybody's prayers. The question is, in some cases, he says no, no. And you don't know what went on with that wife. You don't know what was in her heart. You don't know what sin she'd committed. You don't know how much unbelief was there. You don't know whether she hated her husband. You don't know any of those things. But you've been praying, and God says, okay, I'm sorry, but the answer is no. God heard your prayer, okay?
This is East, who says, am I making a mockery of God because I know he will forgive me of my sins if I confess to him? Sometimes I know what I'm doing is wrong, but I know God's going to forgive me, so I willingly indulge in sin. I'm at the point where I want God wholeheartedly. I want his son to dwell in me, but how can God dwell in the heart of a sinner?
Well, look, we're all sinners. We're all sinners saved by grace. Every one of us is a sinner. But what you're doing is willfully committing sin. I went to school, in law school, with some Catholic folks, and they'd go out and drink and party and carouse and do all the stuff they did, and then they would whip off to church and do a quick confession or say Mass or something, and that supposedly made them okay. No, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. Your heart's got to be right with God. You know, it's like saying to your bride, how many cases of adultery have I got to commit before you walk out on me? Instead of that, the question you should ask is, what can I do to please you, to make you love me, that I might love you more? That's what you need to do. Don't be thinking, I mean, the other way is the wrong thinking.